Solving a word problem using a system of linear equations of the form ax plus by equals c. A store is having a sale on chocolate chips and walnuts. For 2 pounds of chocolate chips and 3 pounds of walnuts, the total cost is $13. For 4 pounds of chocolate chips and 8 pounds of walnuts, the total cost is $33. Find the cost for each pound of chocolate chips and each pound of walnuts. Now, the very first thing that we want to do in order to solve a word problem is define our variables. We know that we'll be using a system of linear equations, which means we'll be writing 2 or more equations to represent this information, which means we'll have 2 or more variables. So let's define our x and define our y. We can tell how to define our variables by looking at what the question asks. Find the cost for each pound of chocolate chips and each pound of walnuts. So I'm going to let x equal the cost of a pound of chocolate chips. And I'm going to let y equal the cost of a pound of walnuts. Now that we know what we're trying to solve for and what our x and y represent, we can write our equations. The first piece of information this story problem gives us is that 2 pounds of chocolate chips and 3 pounds of walnuts cost $13 together. So 2 pounds of chocolate chips plus 3 pounds of walnuts equals the $13 spent, where x and y are the cost and 2 and 3 are the number of pounds. The next information the problem gives us is 4 pounds of chocolate chips, so 4x, and 8 pounds of walnuts together cost $33. Now I want to find the cost for each pound of chocolate chips and each pound of walnuts. I'm going to solve this system using the method of elimination. So I need to decide if I want x's to eliminate or if I want the y's to eliminate. Here I see that the 2 and the 4 we're going to be able to make similar to each other very easily. So I'm going to choose to eliminate the x's first, which means I need to make their coefficients the same. So here I have a 2 and here I have a 4. Because I know my multiples of 2, I can see that I could easily multiply 2 by 2 and make it 4. So I'm going to multiply this whole top equation by 2 in order to make that equation also have 4x. But I have to do it to both sides. So this is going to distribute in. So my new equation is 4x plus 6y equals 26. And my bottom equation is still the same because I haven't done anything to it yet. Now, I can't eliminate my x's yet because they don't have opposite signs. In order for 4x, adding the first equation to the second equation to cancel, they have to be opposite signs. So I'm going to make my bottom equation negative by multiplying by a -1. Again, this will distribute here. So my top equation stays the same. And my bottom equation is now negative 4x minus 8y equals negative 33. Now that my 4 and my 4 are the same and they have opposite signs, I can add these equations and have the x's cancel. So 4x plus a negative 4x is 0, which means those eliminate. Now I have 6y plus negative 8y, which is negative 2y. Over here, I have 26 plus a negative, I have 26 plus a negative 33, which is negative 7. Now, to solve for y, I'm going to divide both sides by negative 2. So I have negative 7 divided by negative 2. So y equals, when I put that into a decimal, I get 3.5. Or since we're talking about cost, I can say $3.50. So I know the cost of 1 pound of walnuts, because this is y, is $3.50. Now, in order to find the cost of my chocolate chips, I'm going to take this information and go plug it back into one of my 2 original equations. I'm going to pick the first one since the numbers are a little bit smaller. Makes it a little bit easier. So I'm going to have 2x plus 3, but instead of putting y, I'm going to put 350 equals 13, and I'm going to solve for x. So 3 times 350 is 1050, so I have 2x plus 1050 equals 13. I'm going to subtract 1050 on both sides. So I get 2x equals 2.5. I'm going to divide by 2 on both sides. So x equals 1.25. Or in the case of money, the cost of 1 pound of chocolate chip is $1.25. So the cost of 1 pound of chocolate is $1.25. And the cost of 1 pound of walnuts is $3.50. And that's it.